there, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it is your first time here. My name is Erin and I make videos about what I get up to here in my sewing room, as well as some other crafts to include knitting and cross stitch, which I will be talking about in today's video. Today's video is my August 2025. For some reason, everything in my body wants to say September 2024. Not even close. The August 2025 makes. I'm going to be talking about sewing, cross stitch, a little bit of knitting. I am going to include some of my favorite reads of the month, which I started doing last month and people really liked. So I'm going to talk about the books I read, not all of them. I read / listen to a lot. So I'm just going to talk about kind of the notable ones and then a little bit about life. So let's get into the sewing. I did not sew a lot this month. I was actually gone a lot, which feels like the story of my summer, but I was gone a lot of this month, so I didn't get a lot of sewing done. I did, however, get some very exciting things made. First off, we will start with this. It is the Take a Chance shirt dress from Pattern Emporium, and this is a Core Fabrics fabric. It is the Color Theory Viscose. I made a size 18 and my measurements are in the description box below. I made a size 18, the regular length, so they have regular or tall. I just did regular length. Did the wide short sleeve, which I really appreciated because I have pretty big biceps, like by proportion. So it was nice that they had a wide option for the short sleeve. I did the knee length, and I think those are all the options I chose. Oh, and I only did the button to the top tier. They also have an option where you do the button all the way down. But I just did to the top tier. I really wanted this fabric to be the star and not be broken up too much, which I think this was a great pattern to highlight the fabric. This is a simplicity pattern. It's the artisan dress. I made it 2 summers ago. I love it. I wear it all the time. I spilled soy sauce on it at dinner tonight. So I guess I should have gone with my normal video outfit, which is an oversized sleep shirt, instead of trying to wear real clothes, because this is what happens to all of my real clothes. I use more stain remover on my clothes than my toddler's, which says something about one of us. I think it says that she is a very neat 3-year-old. That's what I'm going with. Anyway, this was a really fun sew. I used the elastic gathering method that it talks about in the instructions, where you use clear elastic to do the gathering. It was very fun. And I've done a lot of elastic work with this kind of elastic and rubber elastic when I've made swimwear and activewear. So it was so fun. It was really, really fun. This whole thing was a fun sew. I liked how all of this came together, the collar and everything. Very easy. Pattern Emporium instructions are very clear. They have great pictures. I'm not always a huge fan of pictures and instructions, but the way that she does the instructions, really enjoyed this make. Very comfortable to wear, perfect for the summer weather. Really great pattern. I have some flannel that I bought last winter to make a flannel version of this dress in, and I do believe I will be doing that if and when it ever gets cold where I live. I also made the Sinclair Nori Peg pants. I bought these when they were released over the summer, and I was super jazzed to make them. I do like them. The thing I don't like about them is something I did, so it's all my fault. I will be editing a little bit what I edited, and we'll try them again. So I made them in this herringbone linen. I think it's 100% linen. It might be a linen blend. I got this from Christine's stash of Christine Sews a Lot, and she told me what everything was, but I have the memory of a goldfish and did not write anything down. So I can't tell you exactly what it is, but I did Google image search it and it comes up, or similar things at least come up. So you can find it. Very, very comfortable. I made a size 16 regular. Once again, they have regular and tall. For Sinclair, I straddle it. I'm right in the middle of their 2 height brackets. But I do tend to go with the regular size and have not had issues doing that. So the mistake I made is twofold. I added an inch to the front and the back rise. I'm playing around with fixing wedgie issues in different ways that work. A full seat adjustment is something I have done in the past and works sort of, but a friend of mine who also sews said that sometimes she adjusts the rise, and that's like actually what she needs. She doesn't need to scoop things out or do a full seat adjustment. She just needs more of a rise based on where her waist is. But I do think I need a longer rise for things because everything always like rides up on me. So I decided to add 1 inch to the front and the back rise. I made a fit muslin, and I tried it on. The problem with a fit muslin for something like this is that you put it on and you walk around for a little bit and you're like, eh. And I just made like a shorts version because I was just trying to check fit. And I was like, okay, I have more space. I'm not getting a wedgie. I fixed the issue, which is true. But 1 inch was way too much, especially in the front. And don't ask me why I went with 1 inch. I was like, oh, what's the saying about like going at it with an axe instead of a saw instead of a knife or something like that, where you like make way too big of an adjustment and then like fine tune it. That's kind of, I guess, what I was doing. So I do not get wedgies. And I wore these multiple travel days with a toddler and a car seat by myself, and like installing the car seat on the plane and everything and putting stuff in the overhead bin. And so like all of that movement and bending and carrying stuff that was pulling on my clothes did not have any issues. So I did fix my problem. I just have a lot of excess fabric, especially in the front, a little more excess than I'd like in the back. So I'm gonna, I think, do like 1/4 inch to the front rise next time and 1/2 inch to the back and see where that gets me. And the second thing I did, because remember, this was a 2-fold mistake, I did not move the pockets. So I added 1 inch to the rise, and I did not move the pockets up, the pocket placement. And it's not awful, but they're like a little awkward. Like just when you see when on my body, how much space is here, you're just like, that's a lot. So I think I don't want to move it all the way back up. I mean, on the front, if I only do 1/4 inch, it should not be as big of a deal, right? So I think I'll leave it not fixed for the front. And I did not do the pockets on the back at all. There is an option to do welt pockets on the back, I want to say. Maybe patch pockets. I'm pretty sure it's welt pockets. I did not do that. Because these were intended to be kind of a wearable toile-ish. No, they weren't. That's a lie. I'm just saying that to make myself feel better. I wanted them to be really good. And they are good. They are very comfortable. I wore them with a Cielo top that I made a year ago, 2 years ago, a year ago. I don't know. Made a while ago. That I wear all of the time. And it hits perfectly together. So that's what I wore for a couple of travel days, like I said, and it was super, super comfy, except for the saggy booty. But you know what? I don't see or feel the saggy booty that much. What I'm not feeling is a wedgie, and that's a win in its own way. So I will make these again. I do enjoy them. I did the non-cuffed version, so there's a version where it's a little longer and then has a cuff up. I just hemmed it. And yeah, I like them. They're comfy. They do the job. They just have a little bit more butt than I planned on. Then the other thing I made is the demi athletic dress for Made for Mermaids. That was a new release in August, and I made it up basically right away. I have an entire review on that, so I will just link the video and you can go watch it. I have some fit adjustments I need to make to my next version, and I did order more of the fabric that I made it out of in more colors because I love it, and I will be making those at some point. But I've worn that quite a lot. The last sewing thing I did was make my daughter's first day of school dress. She started pre-K, very part-time pre-K, like a couple mornings a week, but she started school this past week, at the beginning of September. So in August, I made her dress, and look how cute it is. And the back has these buttons that are from my mom's stash. She was a teacher and then obviously had young children in school. So she had a plethora of this fabric I got from my local quilt shop. It's just a quilting cotton. And then this yellow checked stuff, kind of like a take on a gingham, a plaid-ish, I don't know. But the yellow on yellow, tone on tone, was from my mom's stash. It's from my mom's stash. The pattern is the Little Lizard King Mulaney, and I made this last summer for my daughter to wear to my husband's promotion ceremony. So I'd made it before and I just love it. The crossover skirt, all the ruffle, all the gathering. I think it is so cute. That time I used one of the longer sleeve options. This time I just did the ruffle around the arm side, which was so cute. How many times am I going to say cute? A lot. I played around with putting an applique bee on here, but it made her look like a superhero. When I laid it out, I sent pictures to my mother-in-law, my husband, and my sister. And I was like, is this cute or too superhero? And they unanimously said it made it look like a superhero outfit. So I took it off. And yeah, super cute. I did a rolled hem on my serger to finish the ruffle. When I made it last summer, I did the narrow hem like it talks about in the pattern, but like it's so much ruffle. It's so much ruffle. So it also mentions that you can do a rolled hem, and I was like, that option, please. I did that, and I think it looks really good. Especially because this is a dress that she literally only wore the one time for 4 to 5 hours total. She was not a huge fan because of the buttons. They are like quite bulky, and especially when she was in her car seat. The first thing she said was like, this is not comfortable. But the girl stuck with it. She wore it and then asked to change when we got home, which is fine. I kind of knew it was going to go that way. Because like, honestly, the rest of the time, or most of the time, she's in like knit dresses. She loves dresses, but they're mostly knit and they have pockets. She very much complained that this did not have pockets. She doesn't put anything in her pockets. I just need everyone to know that. She does not put anything in her pockets, but she is at the point where she needs pockets and things. She doesn't even put her hands in her pockets, but there must be pockets. So future note for myself is to make sure there's pockets in it. But yeah, this was super cute. It's actually quite an easy make. It comes together easily. No big issues. And then I did make a bow to go with it. So she wore this in her hair and it was so cute. Once again, so cute. I just did this using a tutorial here on YouTube. I don't remember exactly which one, but I'll look in my history and link it. It was super easy to follow and super cute. I did also make her backpack for school, but technically I made that on September 2nd into the wee hours of September 3rd. I stayed up way too late doing it. And I still have to finish the inside actually. So I will talk about that in next month's video. That is it for sewing. One thing I have been doing a lot, or was doing a lot while I was out of town, was cross stitching. So I have three cross stitch projects to talk about. First, I will talk about the project that kind of got my stitchy bug back. A stitchy bug is basically the equivalent of sojo, like when you can't put stuff down and you just like want to do it. So this is Deadly Aquarium by Lola Crow cross stitch. I'm stitching it on 36 count Edinburgh linen in Beanstalk by Fiber on a Whim. And I'm almost done with the first page. There are 6 pages, I think, to this pattern, and I'm almost done with the entire first page. I don't have like a picture or anything of where it was when I got back into stitching it, because I'm not like actually a floss tuber, but it's looking so good. I don't love how the white looks. This is actually a glow in the dark floss. That is such a pain to work with. It's awful. So I don't like, it doesn't come out, the stitches don't come out quite as even as other things. So I honestly might at some point tear that. I don't know. I say I might tear it out. I'm not going to. I'm just going to stick with it and finish it and it'll be fine. I'll just be slightly annoyed by it. And I have a lot of back stitching to do on this still. I've done some of it, but I have more to do. So I'm almost done with this, which is going to be very exciting. I love this. It's so fun to stitch and my daughter loves it. So this was a stitch along. The whole thing has been released now. And one of the things that comes with it, because it's the Deadly Aquarium, is an index of creatures. So all of the creatures that are in here, it shows a real picture of them. It talks about where they're found, stuff like that. And then like how lethal they are, because some are harmless and some are quite bad for us. And my daughter loves to look at that index of creatures. She'll find it on the pattern when I'm stitching on my app. She'll be like, oh, let's look at that one, and we'll pull up the index of creatures and read about it. So we've learned some stuff too, which is really fun. That is Deadly Aquarium. I've made lots of progress. Next, I have Hello Pumpkin, which is from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. There are 4 trees, 1 for each season. I have completed the spring one. I have been doing 100 stitches a day on it until this week. I've kind of fallen off the bandwagon, but I stayed up super late that one night to finish her backpack, and it took me like 2 days to recover. So I will hopefully get back to doing 100 stitches a day. I want to try and finish it by my county fair, which is at the end of October. But now that we're in September, that feels less reasonable. I don't know. I'm still going to try. I think I could finish it. Although I have the spring one done, and I finished that one after the fair last year, so I can submit it this year. Maybe I'll just focus on framing that one and submitting it instead of trying to finish this one. Anyway, and look how cute the little owl needle minder is. So that is coming along quite well. And then I have a finish. It was a start and a finish. So this is a kit from Mill Hill. They do these little cross stitch kits on perforated paper, and they usually have beads. Maybe they all have beads, couldn't tell you. This is a little owlet, and I have 2 others to match it because one of the fair categories is a trio of ornaments. If I don't get the other 2 finished, which honestly I probably won't now that I'm back in my sewing room, I tend to prioritize sewing. And the beading is not something I can take on the go with me. Other cross stitch and knitting, I will take places with me and work on it out of the house. I'm not going to do that with the beads. So anyway, this might just get submitted as there's like a small cross stitch item, less than certain dimensions. I might just submit it under that. Or there's like not framed cross stitch. I think I'm going to do this in unframed cross stitch. I have to mat it on some like felt or something so it looks a little nicer. But yeah, look how cute it is. And I do have 2 others that I'll finish at some point, if not this year. Okay, I only have one knitting project to talk about. I've not been knitting a lot. I've been doing so much cross stitch, barely been knitting. But I am working on the Hope top by, I don't know, I'll link it on Ravelry. I finished the left front. It's a tank top that has this cute cable edge. So I have some stitch markers because I was trying to count it out. Anyway, so I finished the left front there. That's kind of how it should sit because there's the arm side. Maybe? Yeah. And I have cast on and just barely. I have cast on and done almost no work on this will be the other side. So that's where I'm at on that. I did feel pretty productive finishing this. I finished this while we were away and cast that on and then just have done nothing. I have learned that this is not really a mindless project for me. The cables aren't hard or anything, but I do have to make sure I'm actually like marking things as I go. I very much have to print my knitting patterns out and like annotate as I go along, like, oh, check marks, and I'll tally things as I do the right number. And I really got messed up on this side. I had to frog quite a bit to get back to a place where I could get on track because I messed the cable up. I wasn't annotating correctly. So until I get it joined in the round and can just do stockinette down to the bottom, I need to pay attention. So this is not an on-the-go project because of that, which means I just don't pick it up as much. But I'm sure over the fall I will do it more. Okay, now books. I had an okay reading month. I read, I don't know, like 11 books or something. I didn't have any 5 stars, which is not unusual for me. I'm pretty stingy with 5 stars. Last month I had a couple, and that's not as common. So I do have some to talk about though. I read The Names by Florence Knapp. It was a very interesting premise. Basically, like, does your name determine your future? So it follows one family where the son is named 3 different things. He's the youngest. There's a mother and a father, a daughter, and then this son. And the daughter is kind of old, 8, 13, something like that. She's significantly older than the baby. So she's aware of the world around her is kind of what's important here. So it follows him across their family across 3 different names. What's important here is that it is an abusive relationship between the parents. It's very controlling. The father is a doctor and is like highly regarded in the community, but he gives his wife no freedoms and is very controlling, checks in on her all the time. Like, this woman's got 0 latitude to do anything in her life. Anything that gives her joy, basically, he takes away. So in one version, she names him after the father, like the father wants. In another version, she names him what the daughter wants to name him. And in the third, she names him what she wants to name him. And then it follows how that plays out. I don't know. Obviously, in my opinion, it's not the actual name that determines what happens to this family. It's the action that the wife took and how she either complied with the father or opposed him. So it was really good. I love books that follow a family or a group of people or even one person through multiple decades of life, and you really see how things play out and how their decisions affect their life down the road. So this was really, really good. I think I gave it like a 4.5 or 4.75. The reason I didn't give it 5 stars is there was something about the end. Like I needed more in some way. Could not tell you in what way, but when I got to the end, I was like, that's it? Like, I think I liked it so much I wanted to keep going. Maybe that's the issue. It was really, really quite good. Then I read, well, I don't know, these aren't in any order. I also read What Kind of Paradise by Janelle Brown. It is Educated by Tara Westover meets Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, I believe is the author. Educated is an autobiography, or I think it's technically a memoir. And then Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is fiction. But it is about a young woman who is living in a cabin with her dad in like the middle of Minnesota, and he homeschools her, doesn't let her watch TV or anything. It's set in the 90s. He doesn't let her watch TV or anything like that. Very, very restrictive, but he is basically a, what's the word I want? Domestic terrorist. He doesn't like what the rise of the internet and technology are doing to our society, and so he takes illegal action to do that. He brings her with him on one of these trips because she asks to go, and he uses her as an accomplice, and when she realizes that, she breaks away and goes and starts a new life. So it's her, basically a story of her like coming into actual society and how that impacts her. And then at the same time, like this manhunt is still going on for her father. So there are like a couple layers to it in that regard. She met someone in a chat room that helped her. So she gets to know him in real life and stuff. It was really good. Once again, the ending was just like, I don't know. Maybe I read too many like books that really got me at the end and I got really sucked into that now my standards are very high. But yeah, this was just not, it gave Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow vibes, but did not have the ending that that book packed, in my opinion. So it also got like a 4.5 or something. I read Joy Moody is Out of Time by Karen Main. It was so funny, but also very sad. Someone does die in it, but like, it's funny. You feel bad for thinking that it's funny because it's so bizarre, but then you remember it's not real life and it's okay to think it's funny. And I think it was written to be funny. It is this woman named Joy Moody who owns a laundromat, and she has 2 adopted daughters. They are twins, and they are about to be 21. It's around their 21st birthday or on their 21st birthday. She has told them they're adopted. She has told them that their parents brought them from the future to live with her so that she could raise them. And then when they turned 21, they would travel forward to the future and help fight this war that is happening in the future. This is not a science fiction book. This is just a fiction book. So this whole like storyline about the time traveling is part of what makes it funny, because you know it's not real. Like, as you're the reader, you know it's not real. The characters, some of them know it's not real already. Some are realizing it's not real. So like, that's what's kind of funny about it and a little bit bizarre. And again, it's these very sheltered girls, kind of like, well, young women, realizing what's been going on this whole time and then how they become more of a part of society outside of this laundromat. So that was an enjoyable read. So those are books. I will put up my little story graph chart of everything I read in August. I keep wanting to say September. Everything I read in August here. I finally finished This Is Your Mind on Plants by Michael Pollan, which I've been like trying to read. Like I've picked it up multiple times over, I don't know, like 2 years. Finally just sat down and read through and finished it. In terms of life, we went and visited my husband's family in Colorado, which was really, really nice. It's so nice to go to Colorado when it's incredibly humid and hot here, and it's not humid there. It was kind of toasty when we first went up, but it was not humid. So it was nothing compared to here. It was quite pleasant, even chilly in the mornings at times. What a concept. So we went up there, we came back for a little bit, and then unfortunately my husband's grandmother passed away. So we went back up to spend time with my mother-in-law. It was her mom that passed. So we just went back up to spend time with her and to let the toddler fill her heart with joy and happiness. So yeah, it was unexpected. She was almost 82. Wasn't like the picture of health for an 82-year-old, but it was unexpected. Peaceful, but surprising for sure. Very surprising. So that has been just another person to grieve, unfortunately, this year. She and my husband were incredibly close. Life, all of his milestones, and they talked a lot. They were still incredibly close, and I'd gotten very close with her since I met my husband. So yeah, that was just not, I don't know. How do you finish that sentence? This past 6 months has been hard on our family. And that's that. That's why I can't form coherent sentences most of the time, I think. Or maybe I just can't form coherent sentences anymore, period. Who knows? I kind of, due to that and just other life stuff, have been kind of behind on comments and interaction in general. I'm watching some YouTube videos, not as much as I normally would, and I just like cannot bring myself to muster a comment. I don't know why. I just like want to say things and I'm like, eh. I am currently on We from Inside Out 2. I'm just on the couch like, eh, all the time. Except for when I'm with my daughter, I save all of my energy and my emotional capacity and my fun, vibrant self for the 3-year-old that I spend pretty much all of my time with, except for when she's in school or asleep. So that's where all of my energy goes, and that's where it needs to go, and that's fine. I'm still running, sort of. It's like all of the like weight of grief over the past 6 months is making me literally slower. I'm running so slow and it's so hard, but I'm still out there trying. I'm still doing my best and I'm still moving, and it'll come back. Everything ebbs and flows in life. I'll get marginally faster again at some point. Right now, I just have to keep moving. That does it for this video. Don't know how to end. Never know how to end these types of videos. And unfortunately, I seem to tend to have a lot of bummer news this year. I'm like hoping it'll get better. Hopefully it'll be uphill from here on out. That does it, you guys. And I will see you in the comments. I'm gonna kind of like, I find that if I let comments sit, it's so much harder for me to get back to them for some reason. So I'm gonna try and get on here at night over the couple of days after this is published and respond to them like as I read them, instead of just not looking at them forever. I swear I'm here for the interaction. I promise I am. I just am having a lot of trouble socially interacting right now and having the energy for it. And because I want to like actually have conversations and talk about what you're saying in the comments, or leave comments for other creators that are actually like talking about what they're saying, I just like, it's just like not coming from my brain currently, but I'm really gonna try on this video, I promise. That's it. That does it for today's video. Please let me know what you made in August 2025, because that is the month we're covering in this video. Don't know why I want it to be September 2024. Maybe because that was a better time in life. I don't know. But let me know what you got up to over the last month, and if you read any good books, what's going on in your life, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Look, I changed into clothes that don't have soy sauce on them. I forgot to mention that I did see, and I think respond to most, if not all, of the comments about what to do with the Elsa costume from last month's Makes video. I have put that project away until probably the end of this month, beginning of October. And I have some things I'm going to try to make the fabric work. I am also going to do some browsing for other fabrics because I think I need it for the bodice, if nothing else, just because that organza is going to be itchy on her skin. Someone did point that out. So thank you so much for your feedback, your comments. I will be using some, all, whatever of them to try and figure this out. and I appreciate it. Okay, bye.